All right, guys, so Paul Bates here, and today I'm in the engine room of the Loop Princess. Today I really want to talk about this area. I spent a lot of money in this area, well in excess of over $10,000, probably closer to about $12,000, because we'll start from the beginning. I replaced all of the exhaust hoses. So all of the engine exhaust hoses, all of the hoses up below the water line, all those, just the hoses from Pensacola hose and gasket was over $1,000 just to buy the hoses. Then I did pay some guys to help me install those. Then another thing that we did on the Loop Princess is I rebuilt the two rake cores and I replaced the rake core for the generator. So that was an expense right there. Then let's just talk about these engines right here. You can see I put a new alternator on this engine right here. Nothing special, just a stock 70 amp alternator. And the reason I did that is because of the solar system I put on here. I don't need the alternators to do anything but keep the lead acid batteries, start batteries charged. That's all I need them to do. So just that alone was $700 just for the two new alternators, because it's a twin engine. So every time you do something to one, and if you do it to both, it's twice the money. You should do the math. Anyway, and also in here, we replaced the transmission coolers. I did play Charlie's diesel service, probably one of the more prestige diesel guys here in Gulf Shores. And he came out and replaced the engine, or the transmission coolers, and all the lines for the transmissions. And then I had another mechanic come out here. We replaced the oil coolers and the raw water pumps on both engines. Just the raw water pumps were $600 a piece from American Diesel. And then the oil coolers on both engines with all the lines. So that's the extent, and the oil change obviously in everything. The generator, the engines, all got oil change on fresh fluids. And we also had took oil samples over to the local oil sample place. So another thing that I did in the engine room here is I had the fuel tanks polished, and that was wasn't cheap, but it was well worth the money, I think. No question about it. The engines actually run better and better every time I fire them up now. Then another thing that I did in the engine compartment here is we replaced the hot water heater. It was old, the old one, and it was time to go. So we got a brand new hot water heater. I went with the same hot water heater that it basically had in here because I liked it. It's when it's making hot water when the engines are running, or when we turn it on. So another thing I added up here is a new freshwater pump, and then I put an inverter in here. I put the Vectron charge controller, and that's for the juice for the LiPo 4 battery. So in this compartment right here, I have a LiPo 4 battery, one 200 amp hour that's completely charged 100% of the time by the solar panels. And I haven't, since I put the solar panels on, I've never had to plug it into shore power yet, or the generator yet. You could. I went 2 rainy days with it, but I still had plenty of juice in there, and it never went below its capacity or even close to bombing out. Probably about a week of no sun, I would have to, about 4 days of no sun, I would have to turn that charger on. So I do have it in case I need it. Then we put all new engine batteries in. So I put 4 Interstate Costco batteries. That was $500. And then the Vectron and the LiPo 4 battery, it was over $1,000 for that. Then you throw the inverter and everything on there. That's another $300 or $400, and then all the switches and wires that it took to do that. So the engine room was definitely an area where I definitely dropped some money, well spent money, I believe, because a lot of it was maintenance and stuff like that. But the Loop Princess is an older boat. She's an older trawler, and it's something you can expect. I mean, you can go out, you can pick one of these trawlers up. If you're going to pick one up in the $35,000, $40,000 range, I would expect to be replacing all these same pieces that I replaced. You don't have to put the solar panels in and stuff like that, but I'm saying like my engine parts here, you'd probably want to change your oil coolers, your transmission coolers. When you start paying upward, that $70,000 to $100,000, you better be looking at that stuff, and it better be replaced. If it's not, it might be something you want to add to your survey. So anyway, I did that to the Loop Princess. And again, another thing I did, guys, is I put this toolbox in here and a vise on there on a little shelf. And also behind that area right there is where I store the engine oil and stuff like that, the extra engine oil. Paul, thank you for watching. Peace out, and be good or be good at it, brother. Thanks. Bye. Paul.
Beverly and Daisy from the Loop Princess.
Thank you so much for watching. Here's to salt under your keel and safe voyages. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button.
Thank you.